Page 19, star to star. At the top of the page, they're introducing some more symbols and some terms for you to know from now on, forever and ever and ever. I hope you'll keep reviewing of this stuff because it's really important that you remember it all these symbols and what they mean and what they're called. We're just going to keep adding to it. So hang in there, take your time, and just go over them and over them and over them. Now, at the top, legato. I've already explained legato to you in previous because they had staccato. As I said, remember we have two flavors, so two different ways of expressing the notes as far as this goes. And that is either you connect them or you don't. That's it. Now, not everyone agrees with that. I really don't care. That's what I was taught. That's what makes sense to me. So that's what I do. You connect the notes or you don't connect them. Whatever. Done. So legato and staccato. Here's legato. Now we're going to connect the notes. We've been connecting the notes for the most part all along. We've been doing legato and you didn't even know it. That's okay. We can do that, you know. But when you're first learning a piece, I suggest you go ahead and play it legato. Just as a habit, play it legato. You can add in the staccatos and other junk later. Just do legato to start. There are numerous advantages to that. I won't bore you with what they are right now. It's not important. That's my suggestion. Play everything legato to start. Even this popcorn on the previous page, play that legato to start, and then you add the staccato later. Then in the middle of the top there, it's called a slur. That's a curved line. The curved line can be below the notes or above the notes. It doesn't matter. And this is where things can get tricky. You're going to love this. That curved line is used for like 4 or 5 different things. It could mean who knows what. A slur is one of them. A slur simply means you connect the notes within the slur. That's all it is. Look at star to star. You see the first 2 measures, there's a curved line over it all. That means you're going to connect all those lines, all those notes together. Hope you're sitting down, because in the third one, it's called a phrase. A phrase is a musical sentence. We talk in sentences. Normally, just in grammar and speech, in any language, you talk in sentences. It's normal. And there's a slight pause between sentences, normally. Doesn't have to be, but normally there's a slight pause. You might even take a breath or something. Well, in music, we have musical sentences. Same thing. It's a musical thought, a complete musical thought. It just makes sense musically. And normally, not always, normally we would lift up, or we would have a little silence between the phrases, like taking a breath. Just a quick, you just cut the last note of the phrase a little bit short so you can lift up. It's part of articulation. It's part of expressing it. Now, phrases are also marked with a curved line. It's the same curved line as a slur. Now, get this. Not all phrases are marked. So you get a lot of phrases that no curved line at all. You figure out what the phrase is by listening to the music and what sounds like a musical thought. We'll get there. Yeah. Some curved lines are, in star to star, those curved lines, those are actually phrase marks. Actually, they're both slurs and phrases, but for what I'm trying to get across here, these are phrases. That means you're going to lift up in the second measure. After you play that half note, you're going to lift up so you get just a speck of silence before you go on. Now, the beat is not affected. The beat stays going. You're just cutting the half note a little bit short so you can lift up, like taking a breath. And that's what we're going to do. But we're going to treat these curved lines as both slurs and phrases, because I'm going to connect the notes within the slur. Because in a phrase, you don't always connect the notes within a phrase. You can have staccatos in the middle of a phrase. Even if they have a curved line, you don't always connect them. But a slur, you connect them. However, a slur, you don't always lift up before and after a slur. I can have slurs connected together. And that's the difference. It's the same curved line. A phrase, you lift up before and after a phrase, but you may not necessarily connect the notes in it. A slur, you connect the notes in it, but you may not lift up before and after it. You may or may not. Depends on what the music needs. And they're sort of backward of each other, but they can both be indicated by a curved line. And in some cases, they leave the curved line out completely. You get to figure it out on your own. So let's talk a little bit about what's known as interpretation. Very few people, in my opinion, teach interpretation. I did not have a single teacher. And I had 5 concert pianist teachers, different ones throughout the years. They all had a little bit different way of approaching, a little bit. They were all fantastic pianists. None of them taught interpretation per se. The way they taught is what we call the ape method. The ape method is monkey see, monkey do. In other words, play it this way. And that you just do what the teacher did. That's how they taught interpretation. They would not teach, read the music and figure out what you think the interpretation should be. They didn't do that. See, the problem is, as long as they're teaching you, you can just rely on them to tell you how to play the music. You don't have to worry about it. But if you don't have a teacher anymore, you're not with them anymore for whatever, and you want to learn a new piece of music, how do you know how to interpret it? Because there's no teacher to say, play it this way. And that's where they'll go to YouTube or wherever, and they'll find people who are playing it, and they'll play it that way. They'll just copy them because they don't know how to interpret it, so I'll just copy them. I try and teach interpretation in these lessons. It's a long, slow process, but I'll try. Dynamics, articulation, and speed are all part of interpreting the music, how you are playing the music. The notes and the rhythm, all that, that's mechanical. A computer can do that. But interpreting it and feeling the music, that's different. So the author, composer, editor, or somebody is telling you a little bit about how to interpret it, how loud or soft to play it, whether you connect the notes or staccato, disconnect the notes, or how fast to go. They're telling you guides on how to interpret the music. But they're just general guides. You can do more than that, and that's what I'm after. So the interpretation in the process I go through to learn a piece of music is last, because you got to get all the mechanical stuff out of the way where the notes are pretty much automatic to you and the rhythm is automatic to you and you've got the articulation and dynamics down and you start feeling the music. And then we get into interpretation. You might do more with the articulation and more with the dynamics depending on how you feel it. So we got to start talking about that junk too. Let's talk star to star and see what we get. Again, I'm going to go through the process I use to learn a piece of music. I trust this process to get me where I want to go. It's like a road map. I want to get from here to here, but I'm not sure where to go or what to do. Well, I'm going to trust the map to get me from here to here, and that's what I'm doing here. First thing I do is I look it over. I want to know about how long it is. I see this is 2 lines long. Okay. Sort of what's in it. It's got quarter notes and half notes and whole notes at the end. Okay. I think I can handle the rhythm. Okay. Then the notes. I want to play the notes. Now, eventually, I'm going to just work on one hand at a time. But right now, only one hand at a time is playing, so I just do both hands together. And they tell you in the chart where to put the hands. So in the left hand, they went here. In the right hand, they went here. And that's it. Those are the notes we're going to use. Congratulations. And then we just play them. And I might hesitate at first. I don't care about that. I'm just... And then here. Well, now what's going on? Because they're not giving you finger numbers on every note. See, they don't always do that. Sometimes you get only a finger number on the first note each hand plays, and that's it. You're relying on your hand position to get you where you want to go, and eventually that won't work either. So you're reading the note names inside the note. See, music normally won't put the note name inside the note. That's just something they're doing to help you out here. They're reminding you which note to play. Well, you got to know the name of the key. And I am assuming you already know the names of the keys on the piano. I don't want to go through all that again. If not, you're going too fast. Go back and go through it and drill yourself on the names of these keys. You got to know what they are instantly. So what they're saying here is you're starting out here. And in the second measure, they're saying to play an E, a D, and a C. Well, you know which notes they are on a piano, you just do it. And then here. And that's basically what they're doing. They're giving you the name of the note. And sometimes they'll give you a finger number. But if you leave your hand in this position, you don't even need the finger numbers. Just read the names of the notes and play those. Just play those. So once I know what the notes are and the rhythm's okay, then I'll go back over it slowly and I'll work out the hesitation. No hesitations, a steady beat from beginning to end. There's no repeat sign on this. You just play it once, that's fine. But no hesitations. I'll speed it up later. Then once I do that, I add the articulation. And this is the legato, staccato, and all that stuff. Here, we're going to connect these, but we're going to lift up for the phrases. So it's connect these, lift up. See, I'm not going to connect this and this. Lift up, like taking a breath. I cut the C a little bit short to go on. Lift up again. Of course, if it's a repeated note, you have to lift up. That's fine. So I'm going to put in the phrasing. There is no staccato. It's all connected. And you might think, wait a minute, you disconnected 2 notes. I went from here to here. Doesn't that make that staccato? Technically, yes, it does. But for the purpose of what we're talking about, no. You're just lifting up for the phrase is all. You're just that. So let's not get too nitpicky on this connect or not connect stuff. And then once I have that, I think about the dynamics. And then we have a P at the beginning. Piano is soft. How soft? I don't know. You decide on how soft it is. And then speed. And this is kind of slow here. So once you can play this okay with no hesitations, let's play it together and check to make sure you have the correct notes. I'll give us 4 counts. I'm not going to take it up to speed. We're going to go slow. We're not performing it. We're just checking notes and rhythms. 1, 2, ready, go. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a duet at the bottom here where I can play this music at the bottom and you play what you just played. I'm going to speed it up just a little bit. And you have to focus on what you're doing, but listen to me to stay together because I can't hear you, I can't follow you. So I'll give us 4 counts. Let's try it together. Now this time I'm going to go ahead and take it at the speed they suggest. Let's see if that works. 1, 2, ready, go.